see where you're going.
Tekehu, you have shirked your duties for the last time, I say.
Guildmaster, be reasonable. I skipped one lecture to travel up the mountain. Still, the palace is closed until you present me before Onikaza.
You went alone. I asked for patience, but as usual, you make a trench out of a tide pool. Akira, I might not complain if someone slapped him with an oar.
My patience wears thin, old shark. You have stifled me enough for one trip through Rakuhu's bowels.
I say Ngati weeps at her petulant spectacle of a child.
Eora, the significance is clearer to some than others.
For a Watershaper who treasures his duty to the goddess, you spend too many days cavorting at the brothel.
Ugh, insufferable. Did you need something? Or is it enough to bask in perfection? Eora, I bring art to the Guild of Watershapers, but they do not tolerate expression here. What I am is to blame, I say. Just so. Blessed and cursed at birth, I say. Watershaping is Ngati's gift to the Huana, and apparently I am too. Savior to the tribes. The only question is, do I return to my duties, or while away a few hours in the bathhouse? The waters are fine, I say. Finer still with company. You have my attention, I say. Well, through our connection to the gods, the Huana mold water like it is clay, easing it into an assumed form. We could sink every ship in Rauatai's fleet if they drew too close to the city, but some of us have gentler tastes. Some of us see water shaping for what it is, a gift of divine expression. Well, surely you have seen my works across Nekitaka. Look to the antechamber of the Kahanga Palace for my Apple of Ngati, or to the luminous bathhouse for my Dance of the Wanton Priestess. For as long as there have been Huana, there have been Watershapers. But only since Tekehu has watershaping been art. Eora, I sent the prince a missive and heard nothing back. He is a busy warrior in a time of peace, I say. What say? A watcher? And here I am, used to being the freak of Pariki's overlook. What does a watcher do? Eora, just so. I say I am no sailor, and I know even less about death. I am an artist. My peers do not understand. Water shaping to them is like studying calligraphy, to brew ink and sort parchment. Will we do much fighting, then? Eora, a pity. You are not unknown to me, I say. Whispers of an Adra Colossus reach my ears. And louder whispers of a corpse who follows him. What will you do when you catch up to this walking god? I would command the ocean herself to drag him to the bottom of a lightless trench. If it untangles me from the guild's apron strings, then you can mount me as the figurehead of your fair ship. Our quarters may smell of fish before long, but your crew will be more beautiful by association, I say.
No one's ever called me beautiful before.
Lead on. It will be good to put some distance between myself and the guild, even if we find less savory places along the way. A fair warning, Captain. Ngati gifted her favorite son with more than his stunning complexion. Leave the lure out of this, Captain. I say you will learn. In time.
I'll be shoving off then, Cap.
If you want for company, look no further.
You need my help? I see where you're going with this.
A life without friction or challenge has left the boy in need of guidance. He thinks himself frail, but my heart beats in his chest. He is stronger than either of you could know.
Captain, what say? You look a little blue about the gills. Ngati spoke to you. Ha! To leave her son guessing. Oh, this is my tricksome mother through and through. What mother doesn't? You must be special indeed for Ngati to speak with words. For her people, she lays out cryptic stepping stones hidden in omens. Eora, but send her my fondest wishes. The Kahanga are my tribe, but my people settled on Atua, an island too modest to deserve the attention of maps. My mortal mother tans boar hides. My father trades in the abundance of pearls and opals Atua is blessed to provide. When I was born, Father called me his blue topaz boy. Doubtless, I say, but I am the most precious gem of recent history. Godlike are revered as bringers of local change, but only Ngati's chosen is thought to deliver an omen for all Huana at once. Eora, high winds stirred the vigor of the seas. 2 huts collapsed before our local storm speaker could shout down the weather. They say the skies only cleared when I fell into the midwife's basket. Peace had returned to the island, or so the Mataru predicted. I could not be kept from the water, so my father taught me how to dive for pearls and azada snails. Ngati filled my palms with riches on every harvest, I say. When I came of an age to begin a man's pursuits, the Mataru reached out to the Kahanga Queen. Weighing my arrival against the forces that descended on her territory, the Queen could not invite Ngati's chosen into the Watershaper's guild fast enough. In hard times, the endorsement of a goddess is more valuable than currency. Eora, speak on. The art of our ancestors, I say. To bend water to our will is a gift from Mother Ngati to her chosen people. Since devastation swept our way of life out to sea, too much of the art has been lost. Periki, founder of the guild, organized the lore of Ngati's talent into a series of postures and meditations we call the 4 forms of water shaping. Try as we might to embody Ngati's element, our bodies are not water. Eora, this is the form of grief, a beginner's test. The body's internal water is a force that conquers all. Even the mountain will bow to the stream. The form of hope, I say. Water commands its vessel, and the vessel can be shaped as surely as the mountain. The form of metamorphosis, Eora? The art is a challenge to grasp, difficult to master, and impossible to perfect. Unless you are Ngati's chosen, I say. Try as we might to embody Ngati's element, our bodies are not water. Eora, this is the form of grief, a beginner's test. The body's internal water is a force that conquers all. Even the mountain will bow to the stream. The form of hope, I say. Water commands its vessel, and the vessel can be shaped as surely as the mountain. The form of metamorphosis, Eora? The art is a challenge to grasp, difficult to master, and impossible to perfect. Unless you are Ngati's chosen, I say. It is only by force of habit that I omit the final form. We do not speak of it in the guild, the form of transcendence. Only a story, I say. Even crafty Periki could not commit this ancient form to her scrolls. It was said that our ancestors could shape the very oceans of the Deadfire. This was Ngati's true gift. but we have yet to recover it from the ruins of our past.
Can do.
Hold a moment. You may visit the palace and its shrine, but be warned. The Queen meets with trading company Vipers. Take care you are not bitten. Mere words. You will find her in her throne room through the door behind me. Inform the guards of your purpose. Whether the Queen will hear you above the baying of her guests is another matter.
While I am flattered by the esteemed Hazanui's confidence, I must wonder how my people are meant to have destroyed an entire colony overnight.
You tell us. It's no coincidence that your outpost at Port Mage survived the recent storm.
You speak as if I could command the tides. While you are casting your blame in a wide net, why not look to our Kahanga allies? We do not share their talent for shaping water.
I say our guest forgets himself.
Brother, stand down. You are the one who mistakes my throne room for a sparring arena. I say this is beneath us. An interesting visitor in difficult times. You cannot be here to deliver a favorable omen. The gods remember the honest, and so do I. Allow me to apologize as I toss you before the wolves. This one is a watcher blessed by Tangaloa. I suspect that many of our questions about Hasongo will soon be answered.
She has a keen eye, my sister. Keener than your shooter's bird, Hazanui.
Don't listen to Amishi.
Among her other qualities, the Kahanga Queen can speak for herself.
Huck, I know this one. Her parlor tricks frightened 10 years of every sailor in Queen's Birth.
We assembled to discuss the darkening of Hasongo, one of Rawatai's colonies. Watcher, it seems you have the floor.
What sailor's tale is this?
There's no sane explanation for what's been happening. You keep waiting for one, it'll be too late.
Does tilling the soils of the Eastern Reach drive all men mad? You sound as crazy as the Dawnstar Dreamers.
Have you not heard the rumors, Karu? An Adra Colossus marching across the sea. Sailor tales, but credible ones.
How came a watcher from half the world away to be involved in these happenings? Enlighten the court. Tracking down a god who stands as tall as a mountain. A fisherman with poor eyesight could do this. My priests will trip over their feet to interpret his divine plan. Watcher, can you cut through the din and tell for what he comes to the Deadfire? How resourceful of you. The Isles are studded with enough luminous Adra to bankroll an economy. I believe our course is clear. We will send the Watcher to Hasongo. Set sail to the west of Nekataka. I would tell you to keep a weather eye out for a lighthouse, but the God of Light did not appreciate competition. Something to add, Hazanui? You have an eager look about you. She believes herself entitled to my ear, I say.
Only that Hasongo is a Rawataian outpost. It would be useful for the Watcher to take one of ours along.
Ma'am?
Maya's an expert sailor and a better sharpshooter. The best the Brass Citadel has to offer. Whatever comes your way, she'll see it first.
If it gets me and Ashiza out of diplomat duty, we'd set sail with a drunk scolder at the helm.
Ak, perfito. Do you mean to stop Iotas by shooting him? Seri Palagina will go with the Watcher. Show her how the Republic's handled things.
Your Excellency, Palagina Messerai has been... banished? She has been seen in Queen's berth. I can have her report to headquarters.
You should feel no obligation to take on additional crew. The choice is yours.
Say the word and I'll shoot the tip off a Green Boy's nose.
You're making a mistake, Watcher. In times like these, trustworthy allies are the most valuable asset of all.
Calm down, Nero. I'm sure you'll get one of your spies in place eventually. In the meantime, Watcher, I hope you'll meet me in the Brass Citadel. There's more for us to discuss among friendlier company.
I believe we are finished here. Aruihi? Aren't we popular? Take care at Hasongo. The Deadfire was overfull before Aethys blundered in. Your allies will use you toward any end. Do not give your trust lightly.
I say it is beyond time our guests lick their wounds somewhere else. Let's speak. Watcher, while we have the chance.
Hey there. You can trust me.
I know exactly what you're thinking. Doubt is healthy. We can work with doubt. You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant in my crew? My superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't read too much into it. You're not the only big thing happening around here. I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice. Better that you hear it from me than someone else, right? The company isn't in the business of reassigning officers outside of the mission unless they've got a damn good reason. And you are a damn good reason. Take the compliment. This whole campaign is a risk-benefit analysis. The Navy knows you're a gamble, and they're factoring in all potential losses. Rauatai is here to do some good work, since the Huana can't seem to do it themselves. Maybe just try and stay out of our way. Then I look forward to seeing how long it takes before you find yourself in someone's back pocket. Oh, guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to do any tricks. Ishi, come.
That's a good-looking bird. Hey, birdie. Hey, birdie.
Careful. I've seen him peck out eyes for less. Did your friend suffer a head wound? Before we get into deeper waters, I've got a question. You've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made. Well, naturally, that's your right. A crew can be like family. They can also be like a nest of squalling infants. Let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it? Sure. Always a chance it fails. Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place. I just wanted to hear yours. Ask me again when I'm wearing the big hat. That'll be a different Maya. But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain. I've got some answers. Sure am. And I heard that you two spent some time together. Funny how the gods toss things together. I heard tell that Kana sailed off in search of whatever he didn't find in the Deerwood. They say he lit a fire under the Ranganui to speed up the taming of the Deadfire. You clearly had some sway on his opinions, more than I ever did. Wish you had told Kana to give up on the poetry. He's got no ear for it. If you want to hear a voice like a powder keg belting out Rauatayan anthems while you're running at a dragon, be my guest. Some of us find it distracting. I do with bullets what Kana did with words. Just in case you were wondering, the comparison ends there. Well, my parents came from the Deadfire. I'm getting a taste of my roots. After they immigrated to Rauatai, their talents caught the Ranganui's eye. He saw them as this spectacle, this achievement of the old country, I guess. So they were honored guests. Not many Huana rose to distinction in Takoa. We were also curiosities. Even as we broke the same bread and tossed back the same wine, the Ranganui's friends always checked under the table to see if I had a tail. Kana thought it was hilarious. No, I don't. Can't speak for all the tribes, though. Growing up in the Ranganui's shadow wasn't all bad. We had tutors and advisors at our disposal, and lots of folk from stranger parts than these. I spent my days learning to shoot, while my more academic siblings learned to express themselves. I leave you to judge who spent their time better. I won a shooting competition at the Ranganui's estate. This was a few years before enlisting with the Navy. As a reward, he gave me the freedom of the Royal Eyrie and said I could take my pick of the warbirds. Stinkfeathers here kicked a rather pretty hawk off my arm so he could have me all to himself. Been inseparable ever since. Uh-oh. That's his "I'm hungry and you're wasting my time" face. Better step back, Captain.